May the words that I speak and the thoughts and wanderings of all of our hearts draw us closer to God, who is our rock and our Redeemer. I'd like to start out by wishing a happy Mother's Day to all those who nurture or care for others in any way on this day and every day. Thank you. Today is also Christian Family Sunday, the day when we consider what it means to be part of the worldwide and local Christian family, that we really are all in this together. And whatever our families of origin are like, whether they are places filled with love and compassion, or whether they bring back only terrible memories of a horrible past, when we come together as the church, we form a different sort of family. At least that's what we're supposed to do. A family of love and equality and acceptance. So on this Christian Family Sunday, we remember that all those who make up the church make up our Christian family, our aunts and uncles and cousins, nephews, and we all come together to make up the church. And on this day, our theme seems to tie in a couple of very different ways around rocks. One way is that we are reminded that Jesus is the rock, the chief and cornerstone, the rock, the stone that the builders have rejected has become the cornerstone. That is one of the texts for today. Another one is another story regarding rocks, but a very different one, is the first Christian martyr, the stoning of St. Stephen. And then we have in John's Gospel, Jesus reminding us to put our confidence in God, to put our belief and our faith in Him and in God, who is, again, like a rock. So, to me, the big theme for today is, where do we put our confidence? Dare I go so far as to ask, along with Stephen, what are we willing to risk it all for? Because we are living in a strange time where it suddenly seems like people's lives really are much more in each other's hands than they usually are. We see videos of people going against quarantine orders, feeling somehow that they have to stand up for their freedom, and they're willing to risk their lives for that, and they're not following the quarantine measures, including some people who are saying that they're doing this because of their faith. And that, to me, is, I wonder what exactly their faith is in. What is the core and the heart of their faith, that it is so important at this time for them to need to go against what has been determined is in the best interest of our health. Where do we put our faith and our confidence? And what does that end up meaning when we put our faith and our confidence in God? Well, part of that is that this week has a couple of readings that reference life beyond death, as that ties in with the question of where we put our trust and our confidence. What do we believe in so much that we're willing to put our life on the line? I hope it's not getting our nails done or getting a new tattoo, but that's all part of what's floating around in the air right now. At the same time, there are people who really are risking their lives every day to save other people's lives. And we are so thankful for the doctors and nurses and hospital staff, hospital cleaning staff, who are doing so much in order to save lives. Those who work in long-term care facilities are putting their life on the line to save other people's lives every day. And that somehow brought home in a different way that we are sending our soldiers into long-term care facilities to care for our elders. On today, on Mother's Day, emphasizing to care for our mothers, but our mothers and our fathers, our aunts and our uncles in this Christian family, because their lives matter. And that's part of what's at the heart of all of what's going on. It's what we're all going through right now, is because everybody's life matters. And where do we put our confidence? What are we willing to sacrifice for? But that idea that people's lives are worth something, that they matter, that we put our confidence, our belief, it's not just an intellectual agreement with an idea, but that we put our confidence in God, which means that we are willing to trust for God's sake and in God's name to do what God would have us do. And we put our confidence and our trust beyond that. How do we know what and who to trust? It can be difficult. We don't have all the answers that we wish we could have. But one of the things that we are called to do, I believe, is to be calm, is to calm ourselves in whatever ways we can, and to realize that we want to do what is right and what is best. And that doesn't necessarily mean that every bit of what feels like good news is the correct news. That the real hard work of science and medicine comes out gradually with partial answers and then with corrections and then corrections to the corrections, because that's how science works. It keeps on improving on itself. It's not going to be a magical discovery that if we all just do this one little thing, it's all going to be over. Now is the time for us to be loving, for us to be thankful, for us to put our confidence in God, knowing that even as we are facing something that is life-altering and will be life-ending for some people, that God is with us, that there is nothing that can separate us from God's love, and that it is something strong and confident. And because of that, we can do what needs to be done. If that means we need to walk into those scary, difficult places that used to be ordinary, everyday places, because we are healthcare workers, because we are part of the whole cycle of life and death and life beyond death, because we are a caregiver, then we go in. And for the rest of us, it might mean that we just stay home, that we trust in ourselves, in each other, that we're doing the best we can for everybody by binge watching one more series on Netflix. Thanks be to God. Amen.